This is WPTV.
Welcome back. So later this year, Marvel will be relaunching their comics as part of their Fresh Start initiative. Tony Stark, Steve Rogers, and Thor, aka Marvel's Big Three, return to their classic incarnations as Iron Man, Captain America, and Thor, respectively. All new writers, all new artists, literally back to square one. So with me here today, Will, George, and Hebby. I love a fresh start, but what do you guys have to say about this Fresh Start initiative? Will, what do you think, man?
I mean, well, I like the idea. You know, I think it's.
Me too.
I think it's a cool way to like bring people into the fandom.
Totally.
After after the release of the Infinity War movie, and later on this year. But I worry for some of the pitfalls.
Pitfalls.
Okay. I worry that I worry that it'll be like out with the convoluted old continuity in with the convoluted new continuity, which really isn't that different.
Gotcha. Hebby, what do you think, man?
I feel like, they need like a fresh start. And, Marvel got it.
It's called.
Yeah.
So. I mean, they did that with Star Wars. In a way.
Course.
They said everything that's not the movie isn't canon.
Yeah.
So,
Marvel could pull this off. Definitely, in my
of course
point
they
of view.
could. George, what do you think?
I mean, Marvel has this thing where they relaunch their comics every year, maybe twice a year. Recently, it was Marvel Legacy. The time before that, it was all new, all different Marvel, but it really wasn't all new and all different. I just think they're trying to hop on DC Rebirth's success, and they're just trying to make something fresh out of their Marvel Legacy.
Yeah, definitely. It's very interesting that they would choose to do it like this. But I'm curious. There's something special about, heroes donning their original costumes, of course. Besides, nostalgic purposes, what do you guys like? Why do you guys think Marvel chose to bring back or go all the way back to the beginning with these guys? Will.
Again, I think a big part of this is trying to bring fans in.
Younger fans.
Well, not even just younger fans, just fans. Period.
Yeah.
I'm 20 years old, and apart from Spider-Man, I have read almost nothing of Marvel's output, because it just seemed so confusing to try to jump in, because I don't know where anyone is. I went to a comic store like a year and a half ago. I wanted to buy, I wanted to read a Hulk comic book, and I couldn't find one. Basically, there was like this weirdly titled Hulk thing
awesome
that
Hulk.
it was like totally awesome Hulk with some dude.
Totally awesome Hulk.
Yeah, that's what that's literally.
Have you ever heard of that one, Hebby?
No, not at all. I'm like, I do want to know what happened like when Marvel first started. So I am curious and seeing the birth of all these heroes, and definitely it'd be cool if I could just catch up with
Jump
them.
on.
Yeah, jump on the train. Hype train. Yeah.
Gotcha.
I mean, that's what I think is cool about this, is because a lot of what's coming out of Fresh Start is they're actually going back to their #1 issues. Okay. So for fans who are too intimidated to jump onto issue 790 something, they can just go, oh, this is issue #1. I can just pick it up from here, and then just pick it up weekly or monthly or whatever.
Because I mean, they went off on so many different directions, especially when the comics first started. Just to get people to read them.
Right.
So it's kind of nice that it's all just coming back for a fresh start.
Right.
But
Fresh
I don't know.
start.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, fresh. I don't know if you guys know this, but last year Marvel Legacy changed main books the title The Amazing Spider-Man, The Avengers, to their classic issue numbering. I don't know if you guys knew that.
Yeah.
But that's what the teleprompter is telling me. So with Fresh Starts, many of these books are kicking off again with #1, all the way back to #1.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's a really big. I mean that
it's gonna upset fans.
Yeah.
I mean, me personally, I
so?
like knowing that I'm reading the 790th issue of The Amazing Spider-Man from back in the 50s and 60s, which is something that DC Rebirth did with Action Comics and Detective Comics, which they're at 900, almost 1,000. Action Comics is going to hit issue 1,000 next month, which is a huge milestone. Yeah, so I thought that Marvel Legacy was going to attempt to ride that same boat, but I don't know. I mean, I'm a little pissed off that they're going back to #1, because I enjoyed the legacy numbering. I enjoyed knowing that I had, like I said, the 900 and whatever issue of The Amazing Spider-Man. But
And this is one of the things that I disagree with George on specifically. I actually really like the fact that they're going back to #1 because I think it gives them an opportunity to kind of trim the fat in the various universes. Because like nobody cares about the 15th edition of the Hobgoblin. Okay, they can cut that out of the universe, and like one guy in Mississippi will be upset. Okay, I think this is an opportunity to really take a look at the continuity and cut out what really doesn't need to be there. You know, trim it down to maybe like a top 15 Spider-Man villains. You know, top few Hulk villains, etc., and just go from there. And like, if you feel the need to add them back in, don't add them back in, but keep it down, keep it on a level that like that casual readers can understand.
Yeah, totally agree. So heavy, we're almost out of time, but fresh start. Final thoughts.
That's a lot of books.
That's a lot.
That's a lot.
All those dead trees.
You know, that's a lot. That's a lot. More than an anime, dude.
Do you think they're so? Do you think they'll bring like the same quality, or is this
quality-wise? I don't think so. I feel like original.
There's something about like when comics and stuff just start out that's really organic, but now that it's been like a big
rehash and reboot after reboot, it's like, come on.
It could be.
Give us something other than this fresh start.
It could be disgusting.
Yeah. Well, I mean, time will
like
just
I
tell.
Said,
time will tell.
They might fall into the trap.
Yeah.
They're no DC.
They might not.
Could be a trap. It could be a trap. Anyway, that's all the time we have. Thank you guys. Thank you guys for being here today, talking about fresh starts and whatnot. So, Marvel's Fresh Start kicks off with Avengers #1 this May. If you want to stay up to date, make sure to follow us at PressStartWP on our social media, and we'll definitely be in touch. Next, we have our new segment, Split the Difference. See you then.